So they're going to publish, I'm curious if they'll publish the findings.
Yeah. I mean, they said pretty much that that the reason we were voted the second most stressed community in America was because of traffic and congestion and high cost of living. So I mean, they kind of know the answer. I don't think $1 million is sort of.
Well, Rand managed to get the money.
Yeah.
$1 million. That's ridiculous.
The town has changed a lot,
Yeah, just this last year.
Really. I mean, it was a gradual,
Yeah.
thing, and then all of a sudden it just seemed like we reached a tipping point.
It was a tipping point,
And
yeah.
there's so much in the country right now.
And the people. It's different kind of people. Yeah. Selfish, very self-centered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
Very
stupid, it's stupidly selfish.
Selfish and entitled.
Yeah. And this is really the neighborhood for it right here. Girl gets out of her Prius parked there and leaves the door open.
Yeah.
Goes into the restaurant, stays open
Yeah.
for like a half hour. And it's like, yeah, her driver's side door in the traffic. When she comes out with her drink, and doesn't really care,
Yeah, really. A car or a bicyclist.
And at night now the street lights are down,
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
so it's like dangerous.
Yeah, bicyclists could come along for a car.
Cars can't even see the pedestrians.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. I feel like Rip Van Winkle went to sleep. All of a sudden
Suddenly, yeah.
Came back and what the hell happened?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I was telling some friends the other day that before I thought of the Rip Van Winkle, I thought felt like a lobster, put them in a pot of cold water and heat it real slowly. They don't notice till it's too late. That's what would happen.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're boiling. Like,
Yeah. That's what's happened. But I don't know if other places are dealing with this kind of overcrowding and anxiety. And the weather, man, this humidity. It feels like Miami. Is that vibrating coming from your stand?
yeah, I think so. Like a very different stand.
Oh, the shaker is up against the back of the drum. I think that's kind of
Maybe that's what
where it was. Yeah, one of these stands really vibrates. I'm not
I
sure.
thought I heard it vibrate earlier.
Is that it? It might have been the chakra. Yeah. To Lisa, I don't know if she works up here or she's up here all the time getting her pedicure or whatever. She's been in before. They always threaten to bring by their children to Jerome. And the other was a mother-daughter. The daughter's one of her songs. It's good. I played along with her. So Juanita called. She said she's going to show up. So Deb Zangi has been, studying our drum lessons. She's up in Upper New York State. So Deb, this is for you. This is a 3 pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is common Afro-Cuban structure. African rumba, but what you can do with this, even on a junjun, is have fun with the double notes on one hand. 1, 2. So I am doing a paradiddle diddle. 1, 2, and 1 paradiddle. It's actually a single paradiddle, but it's not starting at the beginning. It's starting on 1, 2, and it's starting on 2. 1, 2, 1 paradiddle. 1 paradiddle, 3, 1 paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. 1 paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. Paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. 1 paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. Paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. 1 paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. Paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. 1 paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. Paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. 1 paradiddle, 4, 5, 6. So we'll focus on having a cool breeze. We'll generate a cool breeze with this rhythm. This is like a trade wind rhythm. Okay, now what I'm doing is adding the double notes at the end. 5 and 6 and 1, 2, 3. 5 and 6 and 1 paradiddle. 5 and 6 and 1 paradiddle. Okay, now 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and do the double notes. Just do single notes all the way to the end. And then on 5 and 6, do the double notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 1, 2, 5 and 6 and 1. Those would be. Oh, you need your conga drum.
No, we do. Already hot.
Yeah, we can't maintain intense grooves for very long in this weather.
Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
You found that coffee, right?
Yeah.
And I like an egg roll.
I hate that. And repackaged. I put it into a plastic container. Chicken. So,
Okay, I was doing a couple of different things. Now, the one that I was just showing you at the very end there was just like 1, 2. Hi. Oh, you made it. Come on in. Hi. Yeah, there's a chair there. Here's your white stand there if you wanted to play there, or unless you wanted to sit down. Okay. Where? Yeah. You gonna stand? Okay, good. All right, so we'll hook you up.
Good to see you. Long time no see. Traveling.
Okay.
That's great.
So, we'll get you some-
the delay.
So did you, this is Kay, she's the owner of the store.
Thank you.
We already introduced ourselves.
Okay, we'll pass this over to you.
Whoa, it's like a gym-based stand.
And this is Buddy.
Cool.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What's your name?
JJ.
Hi, Jason?
JJ.
JJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, you turn it around, that way.
This
Yeah.
way? Cool.
And then just grab a Jimmy there, like that Jimmy there. Okay.
These are our inventions. These stands tilt the drum at the correct angle.
Okay.
Have you played these before?
I have never played gym.
Okay, these are carved in Ghana, in Africa, by our dear friends there. And we've been using their drums for almost 30 years, right here, doing this. And so we don't necessarily play traditional African, so you don't have to, learn all the parts.
Cool.
And so it's abbreviated, and it's you need some water, I bet, huh?
I have some.
Oh, you have some? Good.
You have some?
Oh, you need. We have more. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to base everything on the downbeat, which is in New Orleans terms. So we don't have to go to Africa. We just go to New Orleans. And that's right in the middle of the drum head. And just use your whole hand, right. And you come up and you're hovering. And you're pulling that, imagine that you're pulling that deep tone up out of the drum. And that's your healing tone, that's your heartbeat, that's the anchor to the earth. And if we all support the concept of that downbeat, you can play all around it all you want. If we support the downbeat, then it's going to hold together. That's the note that we all agree on. So then we're going to do the basic patterns. You can use both hands, get both hands going. So this is a 4-beat pattern. Yeah, there's no wrong notes really when you do it like this. So this is more of a meditational drumming, where we're not really going hot and heavy. We do get excited a little bit. And then we'll open up a little bit, open up the vocal cords and sing, there's no wrong notes. Whatever you do is fine, And along the way, you'll acquire a little bit of confidence, probably, which is a good thing. Because this approach is more like, it's feel. You're working with the feel where the body is going to feel comfortable, safe, it's going to move, it's going to create dance. So you have a high note at the edge. Again, get your hands up off the head so they spring up. So you don't go into the head. Get up off the head to let the head sink. lots of vibration that way. How you been? Protection surrounds. Protection surrounds. Protection surrounds. Sacred abounds. Sacred abounds. Sacred abounds. Sacred abounds. Let the goddess dance. Let the goddess dance. Let the goddess dance. Let the goddess dance. Whoa. Great Spirit, bless our endeavor. 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 Okay, big ending. Okay, last one. Oh, hey. Hi. Thank you. Yeah, there's the tip jar up there on the front table. Yeah, just see that little tip jar there? Thank you, sweetheart. You look great. That's a wonderful outfit you got on. You can feel free to hit a drum if you want to.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, good night. Thank you. That's good luck.
That was cool.
Yeah, we got a little tip jar up there. And every once in a while I forget, and I go through like, oh, there's $1 in there. There was $2 in there like the other day. I went, where did that come from? Because it just goes like this all day long. People come in like today, a mother and a daughter, and they're just cruising. And the daughter's a folk singer. She's like working in town. And so I said, oh, well, sit down and let me hear one of your songs. And I sat with her and played, and she's good voice, And so, people came by and they were listening, and Mom bought some stuff, It's just, so it's always this positive energy like that,
That's pretty great, man.
Yeah, so we're not going to,
Can't beat that, right? Can't beat like positive affirmation from an adorable child.
really?
Pretty much as good as it's gonna get, man.
Well, we've been here 30 years almost, so people come in and say, I was in here when I was a little kid, and now I'm bringing my children in to see this store. People say, I don't ever want you guys to leave. I want you to be here forever. It's like, well, keep buying the gifts.
At least 30 more years. Yeah, the 6th grade.
Well, the drumming,
Pull me over to the door.
the drumming keeps everybody young. Now, we just did a 4-beat pattern. So now we're going to slide into a 3-beat. Or you count it as 6, you know. But we were doing this earlier, and I'm going to slide back into it. Now, this is a really powerful trance rhythm in a lot of cultures. And you doing okay there? Do you want me to set that drum? You're good? So there's no specific hand sequence on this stuff. But I was showing earlier how to do double notes. You don't have to do this. But basically it's a waltz, you know. This is indigenous folk music to Vienna. But it's also indigenous to like Africa, Ireland, you know, at different tempos. And also New Orleans, this is the blues. American Indian, this is the ghost dance. And in the Far East, like in Malaysia, this is real popular for martial arts. Fighting. But it's a trance. So, like, if we were to do this, you're just going back and forth, right? And it's really just back and forth. It's nothing special. And when I teach this as a therapy, because I teach drumming therapy too, I try to get the people to be able to go back and forth on that downbeat with one hand, then the other hand, to alternate and get the brain hemispheres into balance. Because if you were to go right in the middle and just back and forth, like just go back and forth like this, that's all it really is, right? But the brain makes it more complicated. So here, yeah, just keep going back and forth. No, just go back and forth like this. Yeah, just stay there. Stay there, keep doing that. Because what happens is the brain insists on doing it differently, which it thinks is right, but it's actually wrong. And that shows us how the intellectual brain really does not understand rhythm as well as a lot of other things. So by doing it this way, we gently persuade the intellectual mind to not be so rigid. So you see what it's doing? It's insisting on doing 2 notes on one hand. So go back now. Just go back and forth. So this is what you want the brain to do. So the reason that it's doing that, don't speed up, nice and relaxed, is it wants to play it safe by using the strong hand to do the downbeat. So it would mess you up by insisting on doing 2 notes on one hand to try to sequence to do the downbeat and you get all messed up. So this is an exercise that I use to show people how the intellectual mind really interferes with something incredibly simple. And it tries to do it right, and it was impossible because the intellectual mind, there you got it, but it'll get back in there and mess it up. It always does that. So this is a good exercise to balance the brain hemispheres. And what we've discovered is that when the brain hemispheres go into this balanced sequencing, the psychology becomes very integrated and you become more balanced emotionally, and you can let go of trauma, stress, anxiety, anger, the general diet of everybody in the modern world. Now, you want to relax your hands so you don't get too stiff. Medium relaxation. Yeah, good. That's good. Keep going. tuba, for instance, the beginning drummer would just play that for 3 years. Because it generally takes about that long to overcome all this mental stuff that wants to get in there and control. Plus, you got to stay real steady while all the other drummers go off and solo all around it. So that's the meditation part of it, to stay steady on a part like that. Now, I'm not saying you have to stay there. You do whatever you want. Yeah. Yeah. It's good compulsive behavior. Okay, where were we? Five and six and double notes on 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. I changed the pattern. We're doing these double notes, but you don't have to do it yet. You do it on one drum. Or you can play another drum. You can get the big drum. Pull up that big drum. Okay, slow it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You gotta get you that big one. You play the big one. Can you get it? 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is slower. 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1. Good. Good, JJ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2. Slower down. 5 and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 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 and 6, and 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1. Yeah, this is about the right tempo, actually. 4, 5, and 6. Stay relaxed. Stay relaxed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Wash away. Wash away. Wash away fear. Wash away. Wash away. Wash away fear. Wash away. away stress. Wash away, wash away, wash 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 away illness. 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 Plus. Good. So it sounds better when we slowed down. And actually in a lot of different cultures it's that's the right tempo. The lead drummers will solo on top of that. But underneath that's what's going. And that's what signals for the dancers. It's the slow pulse. And when National Geographic was first filming African drumming, 50 years ago, there's some good footage, and it shows, everybody, the drummers, really going and sweating and playing and really, being demonstrative and playing to the camera. But in the background, you saw the women of the village holding the beat, just hitting the ground. So. And cueing the drummers, because the drummers would get excited and speed up, and the women are going, no, you have to keep it here, And so underneath, there's always this slow pulse. No matter how busy and showboaty it can get, underneath there's always a slow pulse. And that's the concept of the downbeat in America. But all cultures, indigenous cultures, have used that, even in classical music, the music that has a steady rhythm, like a waltz. You got to have a simple note that's repetitive and consistent, so everything else can key off of it. The fast notes can key off of it. So, like for instance, in Cuba, the thing that we just did is part of Huahuancó, the Santeria, the drum religion. So they'll play the bata drum, which is a double head. It's sort of like a djembe, but they play it sideways, and there's two heads. There's a big and a small, and they'll play it. And that's the three that we just did, only faster. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you get the two notes going, but you got three drummers doing that on different sides. There's small, medium, and a large one. So the beginning drummer, that's why I said you got to do that for 3 years. And then the medium drummer plays the parts, and it's all arranged. It's been that way for hundreds of years. And then the top drummer, improvises off, and then the singers and the dancers. And it goes forever, and it can't speed up. So the biggest challenge is to play it slow. And that's really what the drummer has to learn. And like the temptation, especially with young drummers, to just like, feel the juice, go for it. But it's the old drummers and the old dancers go, no, you have to hold it down. You have to be steady and relaxed and slow, because otherwise, you can't dance. So, like for instance, let's do this again, just for fun, and I'll solo on top. Just you see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6. Okay, lock in to that, and I'll start to go on. Notes all the way through. And once you get comfortable with those double notes, you can place them wherever you want. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And just by approaching it from that simpler point of view, it's a double note. And you can play it on either hand, wherever you want to. And just remember where a downbeat is, so when you get lost, you can get back reoriented on that. And we're back to the paradiddle diddle. One, two, three, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2. Other rhythm structure starts to emerge. Now we can melt, let it shift into the blues shuffle. See how it moves now into that other. What I call the blues shuffle. Triple it, triple it. Suddenly now, it's a 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. But it's a triplet. But the other rhythm, the waltz, is still there. So, the trance drumming in many cultures combines those two rhythms. over to the waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm doing the doubles every time. 1, 2, 3, 1, and now this is the original pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1. Smile, gotta smile. And now we shift back over to the shuffle. Okay. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel. Get up, better. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel. Get up, better. Going to the roadhouse, gonna have a real good time. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll all night long. All night long. Back to the roadhouse, they got some bungalows. Yeah, back to the roadhouse, they got some bungalows. That's for the people who like to go down slow. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll all night long. All night long. Fashion lady, fashion lady, give up your life. Save our city, save our city, save our city right now. Well, I woke up this morning and I got myself a beer. Yeah, I woke up this morning and I got myself a beer. Church is uncertain and the end is always there. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll all night Mellow dog. That's pretty good. Pretty easy going. Most dogs kind of get rattled a little bit. you
She
know.
used to, but now it's doing well. You guys do this every Friday night?
On Tuesdays and Sunday afternoons.
Yeah, there's a flyer there on the table.
This?
And yeah. So we do it 3 times a week. And we've been doing it for like 26, 27 years.
Wow. I've lived here my whole life and I never knew. Awesome.
No. Don't chew on the drum. It's a goat all the way from Africa. I don't blame him. So that was great. So you see the transitional energy goes from one, from the 3, and then it changes to the 2, and it becomes an entirely different group.
Maybe you keep the 1, so like is the consistent tempo for the 1 on both beats?
Yeah, that's what's.
Not a major tempo change.
Yeah, the downbeat, the 1 stays the same,
Okay.
but then in between it does a strange little shift. And the reason I like to do that is because that was always part and parcel of the trance drumming in the Caribbean, where like the drummers would slide back and forth between those 2 structures. Some of the drummers would be in 3 in the waltz. The other drummers would be in the shuffle, the blues triplet. And they'd be both playing against each other because it's kind of a funny fit. It doesn't really lock in. So that ability to play on both realms, there are different dimensions, rhythmic dimensions, creates an effect in the mind that actually forces the mind into a higher consciousness state because it's trying to understand the rhythmic paradox. So the literal mind is in a bind. So what it does is it automatically forces itself to go to a higher perspective. So like, let's climb up on this hill or climb this tree so I can see the better terrain. And that's a higher consciousness. It goes into a higher trance. So the rhythm actually propels consciousness into a higher trance state with rhythm combinations like that are actually conflicting paradox rhythms. It took me a long time to understand why it would do that. And there's different combinations. And musicians say, oh yeah, it's 4 against 6. It's, yeah. But they don't realize, they're just viewing it from a musical point of view, what it does to the brain functioning and the energy, the psychic energy. Because you can do, like for instance, there's astral projection in traditional cultures where the drumming will propel the magician, the shaman, the curandera out of their bodies, and they'll go visit the next village and do whatever they wanted to do and come back. And there's, in India, they do it too. So it's like, this is something that we have no vocabulary for yet, but it's slowly evolving.
Something like binaural beats or whatever, like this idea of having conflicting tones and that
Yeah.
tries to make order out of chaos. And
Yeah, the binaural thing is tricky because it's digitally generated.
Right, but
And the reason that I always make a point of saying you got to be careful about digitally generated sound because it's unforgiving. It's locked in. And our system organically is going to slow and speed up because we're breathing, we fluctuate.
it wouldn't flow like a drum machine to make those transitions. It wouldn't be as fluid, right? Like it would be certainly more pronounced the conflict, right? Like if everything was like super.
Yeah,
There's no
So I love the concept of the binaural stuff, but I prefer it, when people organically get to it. And it's longer. It takes more effort. But when you put I don't have a strong left ear anymore, so I can't really do the
I've never
binaural
really
thing.
even listened to that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the mic. I'm just familiar with the concept.
But when I was signing a lot of books, because I'd written some books about this stuff, and I was at the conventions, they would do aura photography on me after I'd been doing a big drumming meditation workshop. They go, oh, you must be a Reiki master because all your chakras are totally like in alignment. And I said, no, I'm a drum teacher. And they go, oh, well, of course, after the fact, of course. So
One and the same.
yeah, so the Reiki energy, all the healing energy, generally we're accessing the same kind of resource. So, but here you can dance to it, and that's what I like about it. Okay, so now this is another 2 pattern, and it's faster. You're very welcome. Now, to be simple with this is smart. Boom, ba-da, just that. Boom, ba-da, boom, ba-da, boom, ba-da. And then get that last note in there. Yeah, you don't want to play all the notes in between. You want to do it every time? Every other time? Now slow it down. rhythm that you're going to hear in a lot of different cultural settings. But you see how it feels entirely different when you leave out those notes. Leaving the space is important with this pattern because your soloist needs that space, whether it be, you know, whatever kind of drum it is, or singing, or... So leaving the space really opens it up and makes it feel much more relaxed and manageable. So you see, this is actually a different pattern than what we generally do. You know, what we started with, the general, you know, pattern. So I like to show people that this is where you use subtraction. You play fewer notes, and you let your imagination fill in the space. Okay, now you stay here, and I'll show you. The idea. You can fill in all that space, but if everybody was playing, it wouldn't work. So if you were to hear like a salsa orchestra, the backup percussionist would be playing strictly this and staying out of the way of the soloist, whether it be a horn player or a drummer. It also gets the body to move. The dancers can relate to this simple pattern actually easier than with more notes, because it's real clear. Okay, there it is. Now, slow it down. Double notes are based on what's comfortable for your hand to play. So at this tempo, the double notes work. And this is the traditional old mambo tempo, the old Havana. As you see how it's based on what the conguero could play comfortably. I mean, it's all changed now because everybody's going really fast, but originally, and it's a real challenge to stay at this tempo. But once you settle in, you start to monitor the biofeedback part. Is you're saying, are those two notes comfortable? Am I playing those two notes, and am I comfortable playing them at this tempo? And if I'm feeling too rushed, I'm probably playing too fast. So that's a biofeedback for the drummer. So you gotta back it off until those two notes are comfortable. And the more you back it off, the better those two notes sound. And then suddenly you have more room for the güiro, the cowbell, the clave. Suddenly you have room for the ensemble. So the tempos of the human condition have increased with the advent of more technology. But you go back to these tempos, suddenly the mind relaxes and the body feels the rhythm and responds. And now these are meditative rhythms. They are relaxing rhythms. Whereas originally they weren't. They were like actually very high tempo because the body was not used to anything faster. This is like this tempo of steam engines, locomotives. That was the height of technology when this was popular. and there was a level of tension. But as we slowed down, that anxiety dissipated until you were down at tempo where your system says, okay, I can do this now. But of course the tendency is to speed up. So the meditation again is saying, am I comfortable? Is my system comfortable at this tempo? Because if your system is, everybody else's probably is too. So that's the drummer being the biofeedback mechanism for the whole orchestra, for the whole nightclub. Yeah. Now it's a different rhythm when you're playing. See, it's different. This is how it evolved. Now go back to the original. a big ending? Okay, last one. Oh, yeah. So you also see why, with the weather, when it's so humid and hot, that you would have a heart attack if you played that too fast.
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah, I drive way too much these days, so for less time.
How are we doing on time? I don't even know what time it is.
8:20.
Good. So have you been traveling?
No, I've just been living up in Topanga, so I come down the hills usually for work.
We're going to be up in Topanga
Next weekend.
next weekend.
Playing for like house.
It's a film shoot. We're going to do a scene where we're going to draw them in a movie.
Cool.
It's shot, taking place in the '60s. So the director came in and said, "Well, you can pretty much wear what you're wearing."
What are you gonna wear? You gonna dress like 60?
Oh, yeah, I think that
Awesome.
day I was wearing, I don't know, probably jeans,
Cool.
maybe a peasant dress.
There you go. Braids.
Frizz my hair.
A granny dress,
No,
empire dress.
no.
Cool.
Or jeans with embroidery all over them.
Maybe toe.
So,
Oh, yep. Go ahead.
where are we going to go next? Okay. So now we're going to do reggae, because Clive's not here.
In honor of Clive.
Well, he just came back from Australia. So he's been playing the junjun, the double-headed drum. He's having a great time with that.
Oh, fun.
So we'll be drumming on Halloween.
Oh, yeah, Halloween.
Looks like I might be moving again, so I gotta be determined right now. If I'm around, I'll let you know.
Are you on our mailing list?
I haven't gotten anything lately, so I don't know.
I haven't sent out anything in a long time. I only send it out when we have an event. Yeah, yeah. Where in Colorado?
Denver. I'm from Denver. I like to go all over Colorado.
Yeah, I did this in Boulder and Denver at the International New Age trade shows. The Llewellyn Publishing had me come out and sign books and give a demonstration. So I was out there like for 5 or 6 years, all every convention, and then go up to Boulder. And believe it or not, when I was in Boulder, there were no drumming groups. This was like 20 years ago. Well, when I started, there were no drumming groups anywhere in the country. Atlanta had none. Miami, none. Austin, none. Asheville was the only place. And it was like horrendous. They could not, all the college girls wanted to dance. It was downtown, in the city square. And it was just chaos. It was just anarchy. It was like preening, So I did the workshops and I showed them where the downbeat was, so the girls could dance. Shamed the local dreadlocks, into holding a groove, so the girls could dance. Yeah, nobody remembers, but I created a lot of monsters on the beaches all over Florida. my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright, alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright, alright, alright. Yeah. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Na 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 na. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Na 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 na. I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Trenchtown, observing all of the hypocrites, mingling with the good folk that we meet. Good friends we've found, good friends we've lost, all along the way. In this bright future, we cannot forget the past. So dry your tears, I say. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Na 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 na. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Na 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 na. Everything gonna be alright. Everything gonna be alright. Everything gonna be alright. Everything gonna be alright. No woman, no cry. Hush, little darling, don't shed no tears. No woman, no cry. Na na na. Hush, little darling, don't shed no tears. No woman, no cry.
challenging for no good definable reason is like, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Good.
It's like, why do my hands not do the brain wants the hands to do the thing, and the hands don't want to do it, and then that's like,
Well,
very
that one's a little brain teaser. The reggae rhythm is a deceptively simple sounding structure, but it's not because of what we're used to hearing. If we weren't raised with what we had been raised with, it might have been. I remember Charlie Watts, the drummer for the Stones, saying it was so difficult for him to learn to play reggae because he had to switch and flip and turn everything upside down and inside out in order to do a reggae fill. He never really did get it, but he appreciated it immensely. Tremendously talented drummer. But this is a what? How? So there, I was using the double. Where was it? One, there it is. Yeah, and I put this stuff up on YouTube, like Play Djembe Reggae with Buddy Helm, and all these, metalheads and punkers dissed me and say, oh no, go to this website or some other website. I said, you know what? You guys are missing the point here.
There were a lot of hits on that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what YouTube is.
thousands and thousands of hits. It was
That was
most everybody loved it, but every once in a while somebody diss it, and they said, you're a great player, but your drum sounds terrible. And I said, you know what? I said that's all a matter of taste.
That's just YouTube in general. I feel like I should really have an opinion about this.
That's really challenging to sing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's like,
Keep it.
Especially as a drummer. I mean, playing guitar and singing,
Yeah,
maybe.
no.
Piano, yeah, maybe. But drums, it's like tough. Karen Carpenter, she was a great drummer and a great singer.
I can't do it. I can't do the guitar. It's always been a huge challenge for me.
So that's why tonight this was a good tempo for that particular technique, because I never really did the taught that hand sequencing.
In that one, you're hitting 3 notes with one
Yeah,
hand.
right. At this tempo, it's doable. And this is really where the original tempo was. And you see how much more musical it was when it was that open. So there's something to be said for the discipline of leaving space, not playing a lot of notes. And when I go out and do the workshops, it's like everybody just wants to play. And they just want to bang. It's like, okay, fine. So that's when I say, okay, just everybody at least support the downbeat. That way, at least it'll hold together. But, and then they remark after they've done my workshops, they go, well, I play more in your workshops than I played like in any other workshops with the African master drum teachers and all, or the Remo people or whatever. I say, that's right. My point is to get you to play. But ideally, where I like you to go is to play less once you understand that the space is just as important, more important than the notes. It's where you put the space, it's like that's where it becomes really cool.
It's so exciting when you get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop playing anything else.
Yeah. You get the pattern.
I got it. Don't stop.
Yeah. So when the pattern becomes a chemical reaction in your muscle and your brain, it's like, I got this, and it's a real endorphin hit. And it's like, that's why it's easier to do that, I think, with drumming than a lot of other instruments. It's like once you get your hand sequence going, and all you have to do is really just slow down and let your body do it. And then you get it, and it's like click, and it's like, yeah. And it's like it's a physical high. You get like, yeah, that was cool, I got it.
It's a physical thing.
Yeah, I witnessed that with the inner city kids when I go to the public schools. Slow it down, and then they get it. And it's like zing, you see it just, and they all feel really good, and they like get along with each other, and everybody's like, here, let me show you. It's like, okay. So now we're going to go back and do the closing.
How old were they? Teenagers?
What?
How old?
I did third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth. Well, a little sixth, but mostly fifth and fourth grades. They were sweet. The boys, you know, they wouldn't do this. They did this at first, you know. And they were every race, every tribe on the planet. And then the girls, you know, they were kind of like, and so they come up and I said, okay. And I had these stands up on the stage, you know, in the cafetorium. And the teachers would write hers. Sometimes they'd have 4 or 5 classes. And they'd make like shakers the week before out of like coffee cups and stuff with beans, you know. And so we'd cycle them through, you know, 6 at a time. And the girls would come up first. They were willing. And I said, don't let the guys take the drum away from you. You know? You get in there and enjoy it. And finally everybody get up and do it. And they get all excited. They drum and they jump and spin around and they come down and then they play. They just, you know. And so the reaction in the schools was really positive. Like the teachers were saying the kids would come back to class and they were just very cooperative with each other. They were teaching each other.
If every kid got to drum for like 20 minutes a day, they'd probably be like, shoo.
Yeah, it gave them a focus. And that concept of the downbeat really worked. With a minimal amount of like, you know, overseeing, discipline, just saying, okay, just stay on this note. And they do that. And some of the kids would have trouble and the other ones. Oddly enough, many times the bullies would end up like helping some of the other kids. You'd see it go back and forth. You know, it's like, you know, and the different races, you know, would be challenged in different ways. So at one of the schools, then after I was in there every week for several months, and then they were getting really good. So I brought in, this is before CDs, I brought in my ghetto blaster to record them.
Your ghetto blaster?
Yeah, the double disc cassette recorders. Because the teacher, the administrator that brought me in, she'd come in here and experience this, just exactly what we were doing here. And she was like African American from like Chicago or something. And so she was a school administrator. And she was finishing her PhD at Columbia in New York. And she wanted to do this as a presentation for her PhD. So I said, okay, well, I'll record it. So we went in there and I set up the blaster and so the kids were playing and they were having a great time. And suddenly the curtains parted on the stage and his principal comes out and says, will you stop? We're trying to have a test back here, you know. And nobody had, you know, communicated. So we moved everybody out to the edge of the parking lot, you know, under a veranda. And we started cooking and everybody was playing. I put on the recorder and all the car alarms went off in the parking lot. You know, so, but we finally got it recorded, and she used it in her PhD at Columbia. And that's actually one of the things that really kick-started drumming in the public schools, was that, because that was early. That was early on.
I've never even heard of that, like drum therapy in public school.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
heard that even be a thing.
Yeah, this was over 20 years ago. Because we're probably the longest continuous running drumming group in the United States.
How long's the Venice one been around?
A woman, Alex, she was in the other, she's going to come in Monday. She just took her rings off the drum and she forgot to take them. So I just wanted to.
The Venice circle, how long has that one been going? I mean, if you can call it a circle.
Yeah.
In the Venice scale.
Yeah, no, that's been going for the longest, I think. This is a coherent group. That's total anarchy.
Well, exactly. It's like, I don't know if you can call it a circle, a
Yeah.
gathering.
It's a rumble.
The park has been going for at
The
least
drum.
40 years.
No, it's okay. No,
Well,
you
there's
know.
the Griffith Park one too.
If it doesn't, if the players are interchangeable, then I'd say Kenya's probably doing really great.
This is true.
They asked me to come down there on more than one occasion, and I did once or twice, but
You gonna say Kenya?
to Venice, yeah. Because there are different people that claim to be in control of that group. And it's like, I don't think so.
Yes, there's no control again.
So there's, you know, different contingents, you know, and they're going to play and refuse to cooperate with each other. So like when I go out and teach around the country, like I go to Kansas or wherever, like everybody just agree on this. So when I'm in like Kansas at these big festivals, there's people dancing around the fire, you know, for 3-4 nights. And initially it was total chaos. So I get in there and I finally showed them the downbeat. And now the girls can dance. Now the people can dance and feel safe. It creates a sacred trance-like state. So that's, I see myself as the Johnny Appleseed of the downbeat. You know, I went around the country, and because, you know, my first book was called Drumming the Spirit to Life, and it went all over the world. And I got emails from like Romania that said, thank you for explaining the downbeat. In Romania, you know, can we please have a copy of your book for our library? And I was so tickled, you know. I talked to the head of the publishing company. I said, send them a free copy. She said, no, they're just hustling you. I said, come on, man, it's Romania. You know, give them a break, you know. Because Europe did not get the downbeat. It's an American invention. That's why in Europe, jazz musicians are so highly respected. In America, they don't care. They take it for granted. So slow down a little bit. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm only doing the double notes at the end. Now, that single note, that note, that's a cool note. Now this is a basic pattern that we always do, right? Like if you were just to do it on a single drum, that note would get lost. You wouldn't hear it. You sort of gloss over it. I call it the orphan child of the basic rhythm, because I call this the basic rhythm. Most people don't even consider it important, but it's actually the most important note, because it's the note of the clave. So the easiest way to hear it is to just move it over to another drum. go.
That was awesome.
Oh,
That was nice. I like it. I like it like that. The name of the place is I like it like that. Slow like that, then you can hear that note. That's the note I'm talking about. I'm just putting it over here so you can just hear that note. It's nice to have lots of drums to hit, you know.
yeah, that's great. That's great.
You happen to have a garbage can back there? Maybe?
Oh, recycling.
Oh, cool, cool. Oh, thank you very much.
That's great.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
Hey, hello, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you. Yeah, that was fun.
See you, JJ.
I appreciate it. That was way cool. I loved it. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
you're very welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Juanita.
Well, hopefully see you
So
again.
you live in
before-
here, or
well,
you heard you say Colorado?
I'm here and I'm going to Colorado. Yeah, I think probably sometime in the very near future. Yeah, I've been here for a little bit. I
So
bounced
you'll
back
be able to
twice.
hold your own in any drumming group in Colorado.
I know. Yeah, there's not a lot of rhythm among those people.
It's too bad.
That's what I'm looking at, yeah.
It's a lot of white folks in Colorado.
How about over in like the southwest part there with Four Corners, is that it?
It's cool. I mean,
Is
it's
there much, I know,
Are you going to be gone soon?
there's a lot of
Used
like
to be.
I am.
yeah, there's a lot of
scheduled
Native
to
American
my
culture in there.
room, like I'm
Definitely.
gonna remain
not much drumming.
Not much. Well, I mean, there's a lot of hippies, man. There's a lot of people drumming. I think probably.
the
But
last week.
I'm kind of I'm always
and
around.
then I
Actually, I
don't
work at a university.
know. Job for-
Oh,
And at the music program, so
Yeah.
I'm always surrounded by
You drive up
drummers.
the coast?
wherever there's universities, so much drumming.
Yeah.
That's good.
Do you,
I usually go.
How about you?
Well,
You
when
live
I'm
here?
definitely doing round trip, I usually go up to 5 and back
How
down
long
to
have you
1.
been
But
How long, a couple
since
years?
I don't know if I'm coming
That
back,
coming here.
I might just drive up the 1 and
I-
take
I
2 days
would
instead of my
Yeah.
usual shoot out.
Big Sur is always
Yeah, exactly.
important.
That's
Exactly.
cool. I can
There's
see
a
that,
few
man. I can
spots
see that.
along the way.
I would definitely
Big
go back
Sur
next
being
Do
year.
they still do the mineral
That was very-
springs,
that's very
the
therapeutic
Esalen in
process,
the
middle
middle of the
That's way
night?
I've never been to Esalen, believe it or not.
Most
I
of
mean, I
it-
have
most of my
lots of
interaction
friends
with
from the
music
dance
is-
Yeah,
community
that was
that
always
spend
used to
time up
be-
there. That was one of the
like
places
the
I was
actual,
looking
like,
at,
the-
like doing like one of the like
hitting of
word
an
trade
object that then
programs.
makes
But
the
even the
sound
word
is
trade ones, you
completely
still have to
foreign.
pay like $400 or $500 a month.
Yeah.
Like there's not any like full scholarship like programs.
I used to time it so I would
Oh, I think,
land there at about 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock.
yeah.
And the old mineral
By
salt.
the
was-
ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do still have that. But
And you could look right over the cliffs
yeah,
and sit in
those
hot
they
water.
still have.
That was the
I
old.
don't know. Yeah, I mean my impression is
I've been
they're
doing,
a little more.
Oh, it's much more upscale now.
Well, not just that, but they that they're a little more
It's a little
like
different.
you know they don't have police
like hip-hop
per se on the or
I mean,
but that
it's
they're a little more strict to that if you're not
feel to it.
there, like
yeah.
you're not actually like a guest
kinda comes out
formally
of the
or a
other
resident, that
directions.
they're
Yeah, that
a
was-
little
that was
more,
really
yeah, no, exactly.
Wonderful
Hip-hop
back
is so
then
much
to
of a
just,
scat.
Yeah.
you go on, pay $1.
Very little white.
Oh,
Literally, it's just
No.
Oh,
postmodern
okay.
all over. It's just like just grab the part that you like and then just do that.
JJ, I was mistaken. I'm sorry.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy.
it was like $1 or $2. I remember when it went up to $2 to go in the middle of the night and stand in the springs. You can stay there all night and get a massage.
Including the massages and all that?
Well, there was people giving massages for free.
That's what I hear people do, like just do that.
And you could
Hang
look
out and-
right down 100 feet. The waves crashing against the stones down there.
Yeah, that's,
was
again, I
memorable.
haven't been, but I've seen pictures
And
of
just
people
candles
with that.
around these little shallow pools. And those pools have been there, these tubs, you know, they're made of concrete and stone, and they've been there for 50 years at least. That's pretty magical.
Henry Miller used to hang out there. He was pretty much,
What a
Henry
generous
Miller. I don't know who Henry Miller is.
He was,
wrote, Tropic Canyon.
Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of
Cancer,
Capricorn.
yeah,
He was the first American dirty writer
yeah, he
that
was sort of,
became reputable.
Oh, there's a Seinfeld episode
blacklisted,
about this book.
blacklisted very early, but he
That's
lived
all I
over
know
there.
is-
Which
Yeah,
lived in
started-
I
France.
asked a question, I'm
He
like,
had to
so
go to France
Stacey,
because he
I'm
was
like,
kind of
he was-
blacklisted.
Become a legitimate, yeah, hang out with
But you
Gertrude
said
Stein.
he was a musician? Sorry, I
No,
totally
no,
spaced.
writer.
Writer.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the playwright Henry Miller. Different Henry Miller, who wrote The Crucible and was married to Marilyn Monroe.
Arthur Miller.
Ah,
Arthur Miller.
Arthur Miller, yeah.
so what did Henry Miller write?
Henry Miller wrote Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of
All
Cancer.
the band
and,
books.
yeah, the band books were great.
They were like sexually lewd, is that the
Yeah.
idea?
Well, yeah.
They were,
Were they?
They
part.
weren't,
For the time.
They were just,
they were just shocking to
Lewd.
yeah, they were
America,
shocking.
And he would run around naked and, play things. I mean, he was like an early,
Yeah.
He was a precursor to like Kerouac and
Yeah.
that's the
Burroughs.
generation
Yeah.
before,
Wait.
where they were like pushing the bounds of very repressed consciousness in America, very conservative take on the world, morality, ethics.
Right.
So these were writers, that were pushing the limits of what was considered good taste by conventional literary critics, because literature had been so locked down that there was no innovation in American literature. And it was a joke. American literature was considered a joke. The only thing that was really happening was you had F. Scott Fitzgerald and Hemingway and people like that. And so the only way to go for people like Henry Miller was to write about the bohemian
Oh,
life
okay.
in
Yeah,
Paris.
that's fine.
So the bohemian life in Paris consisted of drinking absinthe, lesbian relationships, eating hash brownies at made by Alice B. Toklas and hanging out at Gertrude Stein's salons and discussing art and the beginning of abstract expressionism. Picasso was young; he was just starting Cubism, so he was breaking the bounds of conventional landscape painting at the same time that the writers were breaking the bounds of conventional literature. And in America, it was not allowed. So the writers had to go to Paris, and so they wanted to write, but the only thing they could write about really that was outside of the conventional genre was the bohemian lifestyle of Paris, that was it. That was the center of culture in the world, was Paris. So when those books were printed and distributed in America, these were American writers writing in Paris, it caused a great scandal, because these were like reputable families and stuff that these people came from, and suddenly they were writing about degenerate behavior in Paris, and it was titillating, but it was written from the intention of like pushing open this controlled psychology that was the American consciousness, that was very, very, very conservative. So they couldn't come back to America and be received as, great writers, because the press was, towing the conventional line of, but this is sinful. So the books were banned; they weren't allowed in libraries. Now, of course, it's all considered, nothing to really even be considered.
Miller libraries.
Yeah, we don't even have libraries
I
anymore.
think
No.
Henry Miller, isn't there a Henry Miller library up in Santa Cruz or?
Well, he lived
along
in
the
Big
coast
Sur, yeah.
there?
So yeah,
And
there's
so many people were from Big Sur, so many writers from like that were
Right.
Big
That's
Sur,
where
like,
everybody
like,
went, yeah.
Monterey
Telling you,
and
Big
everywhere.
Sur is also full. I'm like over
I mean,
Colorado.
I feel ya.
Colorado's
Big
got full.
Sur.
It's just like wherever Jack Kerouac went, basically. You're just like LA.
I don't even know
LA,
who- I don't even know who
Central
Jack
California,
Kerouac
California,
is.
Denver.
What?
On the road.
Nope, I don't even know what
Like
that
the
is.
whole
his
beat
his
generation.
famous novel was
Oh,
called
it's a
On
beat.
the
Okay,
Road.
so yeah.
He was one of the first beat writers, which
Yeah.
meant that they were hanging out in New York
I'll
City
have to look.
and
I
San
mean,
Francisco
look him
and
up
North
and see if
Beach.
like I
Super
know his
relevant.
stuff. 'Cause,
Super relevant.
yeah.
If you read On the Road, you're like,
It's a
My
pretty,
friends
it's a
and I
pretty
are really
decisive
into
book. It
it.
changed, that opened up the consciousness of Bohemian America, alternative consciousness, which was, it existed, you know, the beatniks and all that existed, but mainstream America refused to acknowledge it. So Kerouac was, you know, articulate.
And the majority of my book was written in Denver, Colorado with grandpa.
Really?
Well,
that's out there.
what part of it was written up Big Sur? Sorry. Or
I
no?
don't believe, I
Not
think he
as-
lived in Big Sur.
Okay.
Didn't he write on a roll of scroll like hundreds of?
Who are we talking about now?
Correct.
Yeah.
On the road, it was, in other words, he didn't use pages, he used, I believe he just used a continuous
Such your
scroll.
paper.
Like, I think so. You know how you get rolled up paper? Like the.
Wrapping paper.
Yeah, like
That's
that. I mean,
cool.
I don't, somehow I remember.
Because he would
That seems
stand up and
appropriate.
write on top of his
Like the
refrigerator.
rolls
And
at
just keep-
doctor's office that they roll down the
Yeah,
table.
he just kept, I believe he did. But Henry Miller used to paint clowns for like, sort of to release, you know, from,
Henry Miller, did you say?
yeah. Then Arthur Miller married Marilyn Monroe. He was her second husband, which was a bizarre relationship
After Joe DiMaggio.
after Joe DiMaggio.
So that era in American letters, the literature world in America, was decisive because it actually gave American writers credibility around the world as writers, because up to that point, American writers were so restricted from what they could write about. Anything sexual was not allowed. So there was a whole level of sexual content that needed to be addressed in America because the sexuality of America was so repressed that it created an incredibly dysfunctional culture.
Right.
So they were feeling that need from a writer's point of view to articulate human sexuality in eloquent, you know, prose.
And then Arthur Miller wrote The Crucible, which he had to make it about, ostensibly about the witch hunt in Salem, but it was really about McCarthyism doing the witch hunt with communism. And so it was because he wasn't, you know, you weren't allowed to write about.
Yeah, it had to
real-
be as an analogy.
Yeah.
Because McCarthyism in America, the blacklist era, was when conservative politics went on a witch hunt and tried to eliminate all of the progressive writers and artists and politicians in America. But it was really a ploy. They had much deeper, more evil hidden agendas, the conservatives. They wanted to get rid of any free thinkers, any socialist concepts, and lock everybody into a war economy, and which is what eventually happened. But, so you see the struggle even today with the progressive thinkers, people who are feeling the need to express their own individuality and their own creativity, that it'll go up against that conservative mindset that says, no, we're going to reinstitute the draft, everybody gets to fight for their country, and you don't have a choice, and that you will, you know, go into debt, and you will spend the rest of your life paying off debt.
Right.
And we don't want to hear anything about any other political structure or artistic alternative to this model. This model is locked in. And the corporations are going to insist on that in the government. Even Obama, they have to insist on that because the corporations throw so much weight. So the artists who take that position are pariahs. You know, they're expelled and they're not acknowledged. There was an era in the 60s, and Kerouac had inspired that, where the artists could articulate and be heard, and that's what, you know, Big Sur and the Haight-Ashbury and Greenwich Village and these places were about, for about, you know, 15, 20 years. The alternative voices were being heard and actually affected culture quite a bit. And broke us out of what was, you know, called the Eisenhower consciousness. You know, Dwight D. Eisenhower was president at the end of World War II, and that was locked in. And they wanted it to continue with that. The military-industrial complex said, this is working, we're making a lot of money, you know, and just continue with
It
this.
was amazing how he tried to warn against that.
He saw it.
He saw it happening and wanted.
Yeah.
But that was like
At
at
the
very end
very
of his
end,
presidency,
yeah.
exactly.
Right.
If
they didn't say a word about it
Right.
until
During his
Right, he
presidency.
should have been like Gorbachev and
Right.
done something about it.
I think he fundamentally didn't know. I mean, he was just like, he's a pretty simple dude. He was like a pretty simple dude. He just happened to be really charming and good looking. And the problem was like, hey, so, you know, Roosevelt's gonna die eventually.
So what we're doing here is actually pushing the envelope in sensibilities, but I'm very careful about politics, because as soon as you start discussing politics or religion, you're going to have critics.
Right.
So the drum I like, because when you're drumming in this trance meditative state, there's no words to confuse the issue
Right.
and polarize people.
Right.
So when I do this, I can drum from a perspective of inclusiveness, where all different types of people with different politics, different sexual preferences, different economic structures, different education backgrounds, can participate and share this concept of the downbeat and actually experience another person's life through rhythm without being threatened, without losing their individuality. That's why I chose to do this, was to create that common opportunity, so different types of people can do this, and that's why it's working in this neighborhood too. Because if I were to promote a certain mindset or style, it wouldn't fly in this neighborhood.
We were just talking about this earlier today. It was really crazy. We were talking about like yoga practitioners and people, like the idea of when it's not necessarily secularizing the process of the thing, but it can sometimes be very barrier if you're like really hippy dippy about stuff, and then people kind of you end up preaching to the crowd. But like ultimately, all roads lead to Rome, right? I think inevitably people kind of get onto it. They attach to the spiritual or political or to whatever the objective truth of the universe. And so it's kind of like just teach them to play the drums; they'll figure it out, and it's a good start. Teach them yoga.
And I've gone back and I've done this in Virginia, Northern Virginia, Langley, Chantilly, and there were a lot of agency people. The wives forced their husbands to come and drum, and I drummed at the church.
What was that? What was it like with a bunch of CIA agents playing drums? Just like
They did it because their wives insisted on it, and they were
This is
reluctant.
amazing,
But
like,
what's
post-punk.
interesting about the rhythm, what?
Greetings from Langley. It's like
This is
My
a-
wife made me too.
This is a worm. It goes in and it has an effect on people's psychology and their spirit, even if they don't want to. And I stayed with them, and I remember the one guy asked me, they can't help but interrogate you. And so it's
This
like,
is bad habit they
after
have.
I explained to you that I've been doing
Seriously,
this
they
for
probably can't turn it
so,
off.
so many years,
That's crazy.
he said, well, it sounds like you really love what you're doing. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, he still has a tie on, sitting at his dining room table with the perfect curtains, and everything,
Right.
And his wife's like, the house is spotless. Doilies on the pillows in the guest room. And he said, sounds like you're doing something that you really love. And I said, yeah, but I think that it's doing some good too. And he said, yeah, I've seen men, when they get to a certain age, they decide to do something good with their lives.
Yeah, jerks. What a bunch of jerks.
How old do you think he was?
He was my age.
He was.
Yeah, he was my age.
He wasn't like was younger, making a chest.
No,
He wasn't a
was-
young ignorant man. He was an
Those
I've
losers.
come up against a lot of intelligent people in my course of me doing this.
I think to condescendingly suggest that doing something good with your life is some sort of lesser virtue is fun.
It's awesome. It is.
That's
It is
really fun.
awesome.
He
It
didn't
does
even
good
realize
stuff.
that he was being condescending. He was being
Yeah.
practical.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
But it was a terrifying comment, on the culture at that moment.
Yeah,
But I'll admit this, it was my agenda
for sure.
to go there and do that with them.
For sure.
Because I've been asked to come to that church, and I went back to that church about 4 times until they got the group going, and the women insisted. And now,
Did the women drum too, or just the men?
oh no, the women were the ones who were spearheading it.
Well, I didn't know if you meant they sent their men to
to drum, but they didn't.
No, they
participate
says, you
or
come with me
anything.
to drum.
Okay, cool.
And it was quite an ordeal to get there.
We're gonna do that with you and dance eventually.
Oh, I see that coming for sure.
Right?
But, Don and I love to dance, and we've been trying to get him to go for a long time.
Dance just plays to all of my weaknesses.
But it's the same exact thing.
Well, but this is
Just you
different in
translate it
that
to your
this is
feet.
a drum, which requires me to operate my hands, which are quite agile.
You
And
can still operate your hands while you're dancing.
that's about the only thing. The only thing that works is this and then the hands, and the rest of it's just like a transport method for these other two devices that I have. And that's just really uncoordinated and floppy, and it doesn't.
It's okay.
I've made
You've
peace
got
with it.
time.
I've given up on it. It's
I've
fine.
seen
I'm really
men
happy
your
with it.
age.
Someday you get old enough,
Insist
and then
that
you
they
decide
get-
you want
I'm
to do
never
something
gonna
of
dance.
significance. Amazing.
Well, man, thank you very much. It was great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Same
Thank
here.
you so much. It was
Great.
great.
See you again.
I will be here
Thank
next week. I'm sure.
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed it.
You as well.
Good to see
I
you.
mean, take a flyer and then we're streaming it, so it goes to YouTube.
Nice
Oh,
to
really?
see you
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool.
you
That's
can
really
check it out when you get in Colorado.
Great to
Cool. Well, I think I'll probably be here a couple more times.
Okay, well, feel free anytime, man.
Hope to see you again.
Thank
soon.
you.
I imagine once you get up there. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, I go out, and that's kind of one reason, I just started supporting this.
Yeah.
Yourself? I've looked like an insurance
Yeah,
salesman.
yeah.
Did not do the
Good.
drugs.
In transition again, so I'm just kind of in that
Because
space
I
of
wanted
like,
to do COVID,
does the
so-
transition ever end?
Sure.
And then maybe I just have to accept now.
No.
Whether I
That'd be
stay or
nice to
go,
hear that.
it's just
Yeah.
always something.
You still listening to Diana Lang?
On and off, yeah.
Good.
I
Now
love her
Yeah.
stuff. Thank you.
Fun.
Thank
You
you.
love-
Yeah,
Right.
amazing.
I go in and
stuff.
out.
Super helpful.
Good.
Yeah.
But that was important for me to be invited back there.
About your response to it.
Yeah,
cool.
so
I
good.
mean,
So I've
if
even
you
like
really
referred
wanna
a few
fight
friends
that
and
battle,
clients to
or
it.
better way,
What
No,
else
I
you know?
wouldn't
You got a
like
few
to-
people to read
That's
about.
the best thing you can do.
Yes.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
At the end of the
chakra.
day, somebody
Beat
that's been
poetry.
doing great
Like
work
we-
is
it's-
like reconnected to
Well,
the.
it's like the beat poets are definitely, I've had friends
Wow.
And
It's
it- and
something
it's
beyond.
or
subliminal.
friends of
It
friends
says
that
the
were like
title.
super into them.
Totally.
And it's always been like,
Their
oh, that
heart
sounds like
is moved
something I
a
would
little
enjoy
bit.
reading. But I
And they
never
develop
end up
working
getting around to picking
Right.
it up. But it might, I
It
think
also
it might be
starts with
time.
one, man.
On the
It's like-
road,
that was
especially
me.
on the
I
road.
didn't-
We
Yeah.
were just talking about
Not into any of this stuff. like,
music
3 or 4
too.
years
Like,
ago.
and I was
And,
telling JJ that I
you know,
was
it
like,
starts
oh,
with
you
one.
know,
One thing happened, you
I
experience
told
one
my
thing, you're like,
friend
"Oh,
Colin,
that's
who I
fascinating,"
started
but
playing with up in
never
the Bay
had an
Area,
interest in-
like playing
I was
guitar.
very
I'm singing
secular
with a little
person.
bit
I had
last
no
year.
interest in certainly
I told
my
him
credibility
recently,
and
I was
everything
like, you know,
that's spiritual
if
nature.
I ever make my
And then
own
it starts
like
with one
DIY
thing, it's
album
like,
just
you know,
for friends and family, really for myself,
can't
but like if
remember
I
what it
ever
is
made it,
anymore.
I was
Right,
like, I think
But
I
now
might just
here I am,
call
it's
it
like
Road
huge
Trip
part of my life.
99.
It's a part of
I
the
definitely
human,
made more than that number in my
Oh.
lifetime.
Yeah,
But I do most of my singing
But
and
it's always
songwriting
been-
on when I'm
Yeah.
driving.
Some people, some people are pretty
cool.
far off, and
Yeah.
I think they are avoiding it on purpose.
The
So it's
awesome
like,
thing is with
you know,
technology
you can-
now. You can turn in an
Right.
audio recorder
You
real
show up
quick
in a-
and
you
start
show up in a
like
suit,
singing
you show up
and
in a
being like, oh,
tuxedo,
what's
you teach them how
that?
to drum, they're still
Which
Which
like,
still happens,
I'm
but
sure, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
and,
But,
Are you caught?
oh
I say
no,
fine,
I'm
just
good.
take the tie off. Usually.
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
How have you been, Garvin?
Fighting a good fight.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you know, they got choices.
And the fan.
And this
Good,
is
good.
my
Yeah.
choice to do this.
So
You know, I took my
I've,
seat
pretty
right
much-
off, and I was in some of
gravitated from
I'm doing a little bit the same thing. I'm
Zumba towards hip hop now because it's more works the mind more. You know.
How are the joints holding up?
Okay.
It's not-
Yeah? I mean,
I'd rather-
because there's so different stuff.
Well, the Zumba's
Styles.
harder on it just because
Hopefully
you're
it's some kind
going
of community
full
that can make a real
Yeah.
significant
aggressively
change
the
on
full
broader
hour.
level.
Yeah.
You know, like really attack.
Okay, and with
Whereas
the,
hip hop, you
you
have to
take
learn.
breaks while you learn
well,
choreography and then
yeah,
take
there's
turns
getting,
who's
yeah, and
doing
then
it.
you know, and by the end you're going.
Yeah, here, let me show you this one
But
CD.
it's a whole
that I did.
different-
That's
Where are
one
you
of the most
doing it?
popular CDs.
Mostly at
Right.
And then also there's over here at the airport.
This
there's,
is Daniel
Lisa
Santos,
Kellogg has,
Bruce's partner.
she teaches over there. I only take her once or twice a week. Lisa Kellogg,
Okay.
Whoa,
she's
this is
great
cool.
too.
I feel like I took a class with him.
He approached me through
Oh, yeah,
one of
maybe,
his
yeah.
partners,
Possible.
Francis
I don't
Station
know.
Art.
She's probably, I think she was all over the world, you know.
How old is she?
And also a great slide blues guitar.
Hard to
40s,
say, hard to
30s,
say.
or she was-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would say she's 30s, 40s.
Well, we're not in big
And,
dude, but I mean, again.
Yeah,
So,
no, I think
uh,
that,
But,
yeah.
So Francis
And
came
then
in
the
and said,
other-
this seafood,
the other
wanted
people are like,
the right drum teacher.
Yeah.
they're like,
And he just said, oh.
My favorite hip hop class I've ever taken, and I've probably taken like I
So,
count my hands.
I
How
said,
many
so
times.
we should.
So my favorite was definitely
Wrote in the
taking one
something.
in Alabama as a teenager, and I don't even remember how I found it wasn't that
So,
advanced
he's
studio. It
72,
was like
Whoa.
someone's. I think it was
And,
someone's private
So
like
Francis
studio
took
in
me
their
down there
home,
and we were doing really
and I was an only white girl.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
and I was so like obviously, and I was
Dan
just
was in this
transitioning
huge
from
auditorium.
like ballet and
Uh-huh.
modern.
yeah.
And I don't even know if I
And
take like
Matt was
I
huge.
might have done a little
Got
ballroom.
pictures
like
of all
kind
these
of
great
ballroom
martial artists.
right after ballet,
And
but
Dan was teaching
like
nine
yeah,
people.
either way. I mean,
Yeah.
the ballroom was when I
This is
started to even
self-defense,
like
this is
learn
sport,
it was
you know, this
okay
is-
to move my
this is
hips.
combat.
Right,
So
right.
to like be in like a hip hop class, I
And
just
so
remember
then
like
he
they
says, okay,
like you
and
know
we're
they were
standing
doing like
watching.
some sort of
Francis is
strut like
solid.
again I was
Right.
used to ballet
Right.
struts,
This little odd job
modeling
guy.
struts, and it was
Right.
so funny. Like we were all
And
laughing. We
Dan
were all
turns
laughing
and
because
says,
just the
"Well,
walk
tell him
alone,
what it's
I was
like."
like,
Because
this is
while they roll up
not
a bomb
funny,
knife in the
except
newspaper,
I definitely
it's
look and
strictly-
feel funny.
Yeah, no, I feel
I
that.
probably still would, but
I,
I'd feel
I
I'd
definitely
have
do,
more
you know,
fun.
I've just started it
Yeah.
like a couple
So then
months
it's
ago,
like,
and
this
it's like I
practice
feel
martial
very,
art.
I
This is
feel
straight
very,
fighting. This is,
you know, they're
when
all
he
very
sees me,
supportive and
he sees
encouraging,
me.
but when I look at
He
the
puts it
tape, you know,
together.
they always record the routine at
Oh,
the end of the class, they put it on
wow.
YouTube or something, and I'm like,
And so these people he's teaching are
yeah, I go, it's very humbling.
Dude, thankfully you
Spiritual
didn't
arts.
even exist
Very-
when you were taking that
all
class.
arts.
Like,
And he
I mean,
walks
now
in, and I
they,
see
yeah,
that he's
they,
coming all
all
the
of
way
them
around.
record
Look at this huge
at the
auditorium.
end, they, I don't know if they just, I don't know why they do it, other
And
than,
he
I mean, sometimes they'll put
comes
it up
over and
to
he
show somebody an example, like if you
You
wanna
see,
take the
I'm
class,
ready
you
to
wanna
bow,
see what
but
it
you know,
looks
quick
like.
before him, he won't let me. He
Or
comes
maybe
up
they
and
also
he
keep them,
comes
you know,
up
they
and
kinda
does-
make it
he
up as they
stays
go.
down,
That's the other
really looking
fascinating
at-
part is like
which is unheard of.
just how they choreograph the whole thing, pretty much on the
Yeah.
spot, you know.
yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like amazing.
Yeah, totally. Whereas
And-
at
and
least
everybody-
most
till he
ballet
acknowledged
classes
that
I took
everyone in
growing up, I mean,
place-
contemporary might have been a little different, but like classical
Everyone
ballet,
in place,
like,
you know.
it's all
Yeah.
same old. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you
Very
might
good.
plie at a different
Yeah.
time, or
And
you
then
might
when he
do
came
it
up
in
and
a
looked
count of
at it,
2 versus 3.
It's like this look of
It's
like,
like
you
the
will be
same
the greatest
Yeah.
drum
old,
teacher
same old.
that you were
So it's
possibly-
interesting.
So cool.
And,
And I realized that's what he
but
did
we'll
to
see,
everybody.
but it,
You know, he insisted that they
you know, I
be
just like
the
how it
highest
works your mind. By the
potential.
end of the class, you're like, you forget,
So he came in here every
you know,
week.
God, you've
Yeah,
strung
but then
together
didn't the
10
class
or
all bow
12,
down to you?
Yeah.
14
Yeah,
8
yeah.
counts, you know, and it's
Cool.
like,
I mean,
anyway,
that,
but.
So I'm
pretty cool.
curious. I don't
Because,
know
I
enough
mean,
about
there's-
hip hop as far as
there's
within
Guru Dan,
hip hop.
Guru Dan.
How many different like formally named styles there? I mean,
I don't know
there's,
enough
So then
either,
he-
but I'm,
he
yeah,
studied-
right,
crosses
there's,
over more.
Every
It's
week.
tricky
You
right,
because
could
they
stop
it's
got
not
the
like
old school, the
yeah.
old
So
funk,
exactly.
you know,
So
they, yeah,
do
they
you
got
know
it.
like within
Wow.
like
And he was
I'm,
totally
I'm trying to
dedicated.
imagine. I'm like I'm
And
curious like
he was
where
tripping with
it
sweat. He
fits
drove
within
for
it.
an hour
Is it a
and
pretty
he'd be
mixed?
tripping, and I'd be
Yeah, I think
Like
they
that.
pretty
Well,
much,
being shanty to do this.
well, I noticed
I said,
like,
no,
like I
better
find
shape than I'll ever
Lisa's,
be in, Dan. It's-
she
you have to
incorporates
allow
more of the old
relaxation.
style and
You have to let
the
your
old school,
hands
and she
and your body
incorporates
do what it knows how to do. He
more,
said Bruce Lee said the same thing to him. He says,
obvious
the Bruce Lee of
Latin
drum."
or Arabic
Brian putting on
moves,
the
you know,
epitaph chosen.
it feels, you know, like it's the old, I mean, it's sort of how it evolved, you know.
Oh, you gotta let that in, man. You gotta soak that
The
up.
old
I'd have a
school
t-shirt
way, and
already
then-
made, probably.
But she still does incredible stuff. It's
Well,
just,
you know,
I noticed
one for
for the young kids, I don't
Everyone
think
who
they
made
really
the
know,
Bruce Lee of any
like
kind,
it, like,
the Bruce
like
Lee
this one
of,
class
like, Excel
we do with
spreadsheets,
this
I'd
old
be
guy.
like,
He's incredible. You know, he
Great.
worked with
Okay,
Michael
fine.
Jackson and
I'll
everything.
take
He's
it.
just unbelievable. He's like my age, and to look at him,
Well, I
it's
guess
like the
that's
guy
weird.
can,
So
looks
this
like
is
he
one of the
couldn't do
one of the
anything,
most
but
popular. This
he
sells
just
it all
does
this-
all this
he
amazing
sells this
break
at all this
dancing,
stuff.
everything.
And people
And
contact
so he
me,
was
what are these
doing,
rhythms?
you know, he was
And it was
teaching us
based on
stuff with
watching
the
him
hustle and
teach.
stuff in it,
Okay.
and so he's
Yeah.
gone to Europe right now doing
Yeah.
things. And so one of the young hip hop, she was on, she was a finalist on You Think You
This
Can
is
Dance
cool.
and all that. I mean, she teaches
The
them
stuff that we
break
did here is
dancing and
relaxed.
stuff. You know,
Yeah.
she's a coach.
Underneath
So
And
she was in the class with y'all? As a-
well, she's taken
That's all
over.
there
She
is.
took over the
Okay.
sub, and she
Yeah.
had
Thank you so much.
the
Yeah.
hustle step,
I plan on
totally,
being back next week.
she still can't
So-
quite
good, good, good.
really get it comfortably. It's amazing.
Totally
It's
different.
old
It's
school,
so
so
totally
it's
different,
totally,
though.
you know,
It
so it's
totally
interesting to
is,
see.
yeah.
Anyway.
Nice contributing.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
nice.
you guys.
Great to
have-
meet you
Anyway,
again.
nice to
Have a
meet you,
great
JJ.
day.
Pleasure. See you next time.
Enjoy
Okay, see
Big
you
Sur,
later.
you know.
Uh-huh.
Say hi to Big Sur.
Wherever the wandering
Say hi to the
takes us.
Pinkies for me.
Thank
You guys.
Have a good
Okay.
night.
Check your bites, you know.
I think I'll be okay. I'm just avoiding any kind of pillows just to be safe.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna wash them all and put them all in the machine.
Oh, if you washed them, I'm sure they're fine. But maybe a dog came in, or
Yeah.
some, like you say, maybe from next door, they might have driven them all over here.
Yeah.
Like they might have done something that.
All the construction.
So we're in the process of like
Yeah,
expunging.
yeah,
It's gonna take.
it happens.
It'll
It
take
happens.
another week.
I mean, when we were in Cape Cod, oh my God, the spontaneous eruptions of bugs. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
One day it'd be
Right.
flies, the next day it'd be spider. I mean,
Oh God.
June was.
June
That's
was
right.
talking about
She
that.
said they're
June-
coming up like,
yeah.
oh well.
June said, "You are so lucky that I can't stand the bugs either." She said, "Cause she wanted to like live back there part of the year." And I swear to
There's
God, I
no
could
way.
not do it with those damn bugs. It's like unbelievable. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're just like spring, like one day another whole generation of something is
Yeah.
bursts on the
We
scene.
don't realize it here, but when I was a kid in Florida,
Yeah.
the truck with the fogger would be
Uh-huh.
driving up and down every residential street with this thick, poisonous smoke coming out the back. And I was coming home from my gigs, 2, 3 in the morning when they were doing it, and you'd be behind one of these trucks,
Yeah.
and you couldn't even see because it was all thick, white,
Yeah.
oily smoke. Because if you didn't do that,
Yeah.
the bugs would win.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and they probably will win eventually anyway. But it's amazing. They say their body mass exceeds humans. Like if you weighed all the bugs in the world, seriously, they said their body mass far exceeds all the humans. But,
Really?
yeah, that's scientifically, supposedly.
That's
I've read that
amazing.
several times anyway. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Anyway.
Okay, have a
Okay,
safe
thank
night.
you.
Yeah.
Good night. Okay,
Thank you,
see you guys.
Simon.
Hopefully
Okay.
Sunday or
Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I hope
anyway.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks.
Okay, good night.
Need some help with everything?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hope we
Love
didn't
to
keep you
Heather and
from
June.
getting to
No.
the wire or something.
No,
No.
not
That was nice to see Juanita and JJ was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very sweet.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
fun. Nice, different tonight. I
Night.
liked it. I liked it tonight. It was
Yeah,
fun.
it was nice. It was so different. It's funny how it's different every.
Yeah. The weather slows it down,
Yeah.
which actually makes it more musical.
Yeah. That was nice.
Okay, man.
Okay, thanks. Good night.
All right,
Pleasure.
nighty night. Oh, my hand's fine. I'm just being hyper specific. I smashed a little flyy thing on me, and I caught one of those little roach-like type things. And then, while you were talking to Garvin, I saw something else moving, and a real tiny little thing. So I want to vacuum at least before, Here, I put it on tape.